1 year ago, I taught you how to create your own country. Now, I will teach you how to rule it. Before we start, I'd like you to note that historically many countries, and maybe yours too, will outwardly be a certain type of government, but maybe very corrupt and not operate how its type of government theoretically should. First, let's figure out what the power structure in your nation will look like. The most common type of power structure in the world today is a unitary state. This is where the central government ultimately holds the power, and there is smaller administrative regions that get to make smaller decisions that are delegated to them by the central government. These are places like China, France, or Egypt. Another common system is a federation, in which the smaller administrative regions are partially self-governing. The power is divided between the governments of districts or states within the country and the national government. The United States, Canada, and Germany are federations. Another power structure would be a confederation, which is a union between sovereign states for the purpose of working as one. The European Union is a confederation, as was the United States before the Constitution was written. And finally, your country could be an anarchy, which is a state without law. Although, if you wanted this to be your country, make it an anarchy would leave you without control, and it also probably wouldn't last long. Historically, anarchies are typically created as a temporary result of conflict. Now that we've looked at some possible power structures, let's look at your options for the power source. There are a lot of them. There are two main paths here, democracy and not democracy. Let's look at some democratic ways to run the country first. Direct democracy. The simplest, although a rare form of democracy. This is where citizens directly vote on actions majority rules. Representative democracy. This is the most popular form of democracy, where citizens elect representatives to do the policy making and enforcing. Most democracies fall under this umbrella. Demarchy, where representatives are selected at random from a pool of eligible candidates. Policy decisions are made in a similar fashion to how juries decide verdicts in criminal trials. The selection of officials by lottery is known as sortition. Sortition was used by the ancient Athenian democracy, although being from so long ago was much less inclusive than the modern theory of perfect demarchy. Electocracy, where citizens can vote for who runs the government, but the government has control over all the decision making once it's in place. Liquid democracy, a democracy where people can delegate their vote to another individual. Social democracy, all citizens are automatically entitled to things such as universal healthcare, education, childcare, and public transportation. Modern social democracy strongly supports freedom and equality for all. Germany and the Scandinavian countries are the closest we have in the world today to social democracies. Soviet democracy. Citizens directly elect councils which govern them. The best example of this is, of course, the Soviet Union. Okay, maybe you don't want your citizens to have control. Maybe you think democracy sucks. Then you could make your country an autocracy, where one person holds all the power. I'm assuming this person would be you. Or an oligarchy, where the power rests in the hands of a few people. The many types of oligarchy. There's a lot of these, so let's speed things up. Aristocracy, ruled by nobles, a group born above everyone else. Theocracy, ruled by the religious elite. Best example of this is the Vatican. Craterocracy, ruled by those that have the physical and social strength to take their own slice of power. Ergotocracy, ruled by the working class. Critarchy, ruled by judges. In this system, the judicial system and the main government are one unit. Stratocracy, similar to critarchy, except instead of the judges and the state being one, the state and the military are one. Citizens with military service are eligible to hold power in a government setup like this. Noocracy, ruled by the wise. The philosophers have the power. Plato, the philosopher, advocated for this type of system. Geniocracy, ruled by the intelligent. Meritocracy, where those in power are selected due to their skills and contributions to society. Plutocracy, ruled by the rich. This can actually be an alteration of any form of government, as the rich can influence many people in many ways. Technocracy, ruled by those with the highest education and or technical experts. Scientists and doctors would make up most of the ruling class in this system. Cybersynasty, Rule by a group of people who regulate both people's public and private lives and make decisions purely based on the facts that they have gathered via many methods such as mass surveillance. And lastly, cyberocracy. Rule by a computer that makes all its decisions based on its code. This is a very unique type of government and can be found in E.M. Forrester's short story, The Machine Stops. I could keep listing aspects of government forever, but we have to stop sometime. If you made it this far and haven't seen my old video, How to Create Your Own Country, well, you should. 9 out of 10 doctors would watch it in their own homes. I mean, I didn't ask, but I'm assuming they would. Anyway, until the next one, goodbye.